Hello everyone, it is December 15th, 2013, and you are listening to Video Gabecast, Episode 3. With me is McChubbers.
Hey, everyone again.
We have had plenty of video game adventures this week that we cannot wait to talk about. And plenty of video game trailers, because there is no fucking news in the video games this week.
Yeah, it's been kind of dead lately.
Yeah, well, guess what? Video game news is usually dead.
Fair enough.
There is nothing. On the Bombcast this week, someone emailed, like, do you think there should be a 24-hour video game news channel? And everyone was like, no! Are you crazy?
A programmer typed some code this week.
Yeah, some ones and zeros were laid out. No, there's barely enough content to do a podcast once a week. So,
yeah.
But, why don't you tell me about what you played this week?
Revelations. I just got done with Assassin's Creed Revelations the other day.
How was
that? So far, people are gonna hate me for saying this, but, the only one that I really truly enjoyed was number 1, because it wasn't trying to be anything but itself. And then number 2 starts off pretty good, and then it just ends weirdly, and then number 3 is just bad, and then Revelations comes up, and it takes everything that was in Brotherhood, and it just stomps on the free running. Just stomps on it. So, trying to get from place to place it's better and worse. There's more accessible, like, fast travel locations, which is nice, but at the same time, the way that the buildings are created the way that the terrain is created, not even, like, these particular buildings in the game, the way that it's created, it's just awkward to run over, and it's just so problematic going from one place to another. So, I mean, with that said, though, beyond the just crap free running, I like the story more, which was good, but still not up to par.
Free running is very important at those games because you're spending a lot of games trying to escape enemies. And
yeah.
If you're butting against technical problems, while you're on the run, then it's going to end up, being a frustration.
Yeah, the particular problem in this one is, I remember there's a couple different situations where you're running through a series of obstacles, and you're stuck next to soldiers that could run as fast as you and then melee you. And it was so problematic because you only have one direction to go, which is forward, and you have to pass these guys. If you stop, in this particular instance that I'm thinking of, if you stop and kill those people, you'll miss your objective timer. And so you have to run past them while somehow not getting hit, and they run as fast as you, or if not faster. And it's just, it was really problematic. I got through it by chance. Like, I ducked left and then tried to go right, and then they stumbled over themselves, so I just kept going. It was really bad, though. But no, other than that, other than the free running, the game, I think, was better because it focused a little more on storytelling rather than just building up an army of irrelevant dudes. In Brotherhood, I guess, just go back a little bit. In Brotherhood, what you ended up doing was you ended up building up an army of assassins inside Rome. And it was cool in the fact that, yeah, you're building stuff up, but nothing story-related happened. Like, the entire game was you just finding people and then owning Rome. Like, that was it. And this one, Ezio actually goes off and finds Altair's past. And Altair was the guy from the very first one, the assassin from Assassin's Creed 1. And so that was really cool, where you actually got to see Altair, which you hadn't seen in, 3 games now. Well, 2 games now, I guess. And so that was pretty neat, but, like, Yeah, it was problematic trying to get just stuff done.
Yeah, most people I've heard from have not been totally adamant about the Assassin's Creed franchise. People really liked 2 from what I've heard. 3 was kind of a bust, and the other ones were alright, but people seem really adamant about 4. People really like 4.
Well, I'm about to find out. I still got to go through 3 yet, and hopefully I'll be able to get that done within the next week so I can get it in the next podcast. But yeah, once I get done with 3, then I'll move on to 4, and we'll really see the progressive change, hopefully. Because I mean, Revelations was a better move in the right direction. However, it still fell short. Like overall, the story didn't seem up to par as what it could be, and the gameplay fell clearly flat.
Yeah, they seem to be turning them out too quickly.
Well, with that said, number 4, it had the same time frame, and everybody loves it. So we're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I touched it a little bit and then realized my PC couldn't take it, but it seemed like Far Cry 3. I think we discussed that last week. So my hiccups seem to have come back. So I am weathering the storm.
Oh man,
weathering the hiccup storm.
We actually delayed this podcast.
We did.
Of that.
Oh well, I will survive.
It happens. We'll just have to push through it.
Indeed, that's what she said.
That's what she said.
So what else have you been playing this week?
Other than that, Christmas came early yesterday. For Black Friday, I decided to buy myself a video card, Assassin's Creed 3, Dynasty Warriors 8, and Tales of Xillia. And the video card also came with Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Splinter Cell. Black Frag. Let me just frag you. So I was playing quite a bit of Dynasty Warriors 8 today, and I freaking love it. It is so great. It's exactly what you would expect from a Dynasty Warriors game, and there's a lot of content. A lot to do. It's kind of hard to explain if you don't know too much about Dynasty Warriors, but a good way to explain it, I guess, is you go off and do missions to unlock dudes and weapons, and then use those dudes and weapons to unlock more dudes and weapons, using more missions that you unlock as well, and it's just a progression that's amazing. And you get to follow a nice storyline. This one, I think the story is a little lacking, but the gameplay is better than 7, so.
Is there like a map that you view and then move to like checkpoints on the map, or is it just kind of like going from a level based?
Well, they're all levels except for they're on maps, so it's a little of both, I suppose you could say.
Okay.
The maps are usually really big, or big enough to where it actually takes time for you to go from one end to another, which is nice. Because you can fill that map with a bunch of different objectives to complete the level on, and certain objectives will help you or hinder you, depending on how well you do them inside the game. So, I mean, it's a third-person real-time strategy game, and it tends to work. In the end, though, that's technically what it is. In the end, it's really just an overglorified button masher that's super fun to play.
And that's all you want sometimes.
It's true. When going from something frustrating like Assassin's Creed Revelations and Brotherhood to something that just works and you just go off and kill thousands of dudes, it's pretty nice. Yeah,
I have my games where I'm just like, I don't want to think. Just kill stuff.
Yeah. Yep, it's nice. It's like I don't know, a good way to think about it is like Diablo 2. You just go off and kill stuff.
Yes.
Each character has their own special little abilities, and the higher you level each character up, the more abilities you unlock for that character, and you just kill stuff.
That's what my killing floor is for. I love me murdering some dudes in a way-based format.
Yep.
I've always had a curiosity about Dynasty Warriors, but I feel like I got my fill with Dynasty Warriors 4.
Yeah, it's well, there's been quite a few changes from Dynasty Warriors 4 to Dynasty Warriors 8, but I mean, without going to real big detail and nerding out on everyone right now, there's besides graphical, there's quite a few gameplay changes, and so I would recommend picking up Dynasty Warriors 7 or 8 and just taking a look at it. 7 is a little short, but still quite fun, and I'm sure you could find it for a cheap amount, and it's great, just a hack and slash. Though for anybody that doesn't know, we don't talk about number 6.
Was it not good?
It's bad. We don't talk about it.
Well, the whole idea of these games being on PC blows my mind. Just because I'm so used to PS2 Dynasty Warriors. So, but I've been out of the loop for forever. Yeah.
I don't know. The last Dynasty Warriors, the only Dynasty Warriors that I've tried to play online on the computer was 6, and again, it's just bad. I played it for the PS3 or the PS3, the PS2, and PC, and it's just each one is just not good. It's like a waste of programmers' time.
Sure, they made a shitload of money off of that game.
Yeah, I'm sure they sold just tons and tons of copies. It's just, I don't know, nothing's fluid in the game, which is funny because they have the square button. You just keep pressing it for a continuous attack, but it's still not good.
Well, can't say. They've made so many games, so I guess I'm not surprised that at least one of them,
What'll slip through the cracks? It's fine.
Indeed.
I still have faith in Koei. Koei.
Are they banned? Isn't it like Bandai Koei or something like that?
Yeah, I believe it's Bandai, but
I think the last one I played was a Gundam game, which was all right.
Yep, I love those too. The Gundam games are a little worse. You really have to be kind of not only a Dynasty Warriors fan, but also a Gundam fan in order to really like it. Because it's really straightforward and just a grind fest. That's really all those are. They have a map, but the map just is tedious to get through. So pretty much all that happens in the Dynasty Warrior Gundam games is you have the map, and the map will have different areas that you have to kind of play King of the Hill on for a certain amount of time. And so you'll have to go to each individual spot on the map, play your little King of the Hill game, and then move on. And that's pretty much all the Gundam games are. There's occasionally like a super boss fight where an obscenely strong boss type Gundam will come out and you'll have to fight it. But other than that, it's just an overglorified King of the Hill.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason why I poked around into those Gundam games is because I really like Gundam.
Yeah, I don't know, it's really cool being able to be like, hey, I'm flying around in Wing Zero, or I'm flying around in G Gundam. It's pretty cool, but in the end, it's just, yeah.
It's like the only option you have for a good Gundam game.
Yeah, it's true. I believe there's I think for the PS2 there's a couple Gundam games, but they're like fighting games.
I think the first PS2 game I got was a Gundam game. I forgot what it was called, and it was kind of horrible, but
yeah.
But other than murdering tons of dudes with a sword, is that all you were up to this week with the Gundam game, or the games in a whole?
Yeah, pretty much. I had finals last week, so I didn't have a ton of time to play games. I'm actually surprised that I got through Revelations. So, I mean, yeah, other than a little bit of Dynasty Warriors today, and Assassin's Creed Revelations. That was pretty much it. What about yourself?
Oh, man, I beat Gears of War Judgment this week.
Nice.
It was so good. So, Gears of War Judgment came out about 18 months after 3, and I said, fucking why? We don't need more. I'm still playing Gears of War 3. So I told that go away for about a year, and I just recently played it, and I was blown away at how much I liked it.
Nice.
There was one point towards the end of the game, maybe about 75% through, where I was like, why are these frame rates so fucking awful? And then I decided to go to sleep, and then the next day I played some more, and I was like, oh, my Xbox must have just been on fire, because my Xbox was just bogging down. The game was fine. But yeah, man, the physics in that game, and the what they call God rays, which is the sun coming through. Oh man, it looks so great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. You shoot a grenade and the dude just kind of blows up in a heap, and for whatever reason, it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, dismemberment, man. It's a thing. It's a very enjoyable thing.
I think that game nails it better than any other game.
I'm trying to think. Games with dismemberment. I know, God, I'm pulling a blank here. There's one game that I cannot think of the name of that has really good dismemberment physics, but I don't know, it's beyond me right now. But either way, yes, dismemberment equals good.
Yes, and that game is hard as hell too. I played it on hardcore, which is above normal.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a hell of a challenge. So on the wall they have like the Gears of War logo, and you click on it and it will say, it'll give you like a mutator, like the enemies have super weapons like one shots, which are basically super sniper rifle that will one shot kill you.
Yeah.
Or just basically more elite soldiers, or or fog, or they'll just have these they just really throw a monkey wrench into your strategy, which causes you to play the game differently than you did before.
Nice. Yeah.
So, that keeps the game interesting in a way that none of the other games did. But fuck, man, some of those really challenging. I gave up on some of them. I respawned after the 10th time and said, I'm not clicking on that.
Sounds like Halo Legendary runs.
Oh, I've never done that.
Oh, it's bad.
Exactly.
Going back to people's roots. Oh man, Halo Legendary was where it was at.
Yeah, I think I beat Halo 3 on Legendary, but only because co-op.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would never do it alone.
Yeah, it's pretty tough alone. You have to have a lot of patience, and you have to get everything perfect. Otherwise, in some cases, I mean, you just breeze through it because it's Halo. You run a gun. But in some cases, yeah, you have to be on the ball about everything, like ammunition, reloading, stealth. You have to know exactly what you're trying to do.
Mhm. I like my Halo. I beat them all. Wonder what they're gonna do with the Xbox One.
Probably more Halo.
What?
I know, right?
I shan't believe it.
Mind blown.
Other than that, what else did I play? I played some Samurai Gun, which was alright.
That's the 2D multiplayer, like, you got those little samurai guys, and they can shoot, they have like, I think 3 shots per gun, per life, and then you have your little sword that you could stab people with. Like a PvP 2D thing.
Yes, there's no online multiplayer, which kind of let me down. Yeah.
How did you end up playing it single player then?
There's a survival mode, so you just kind of go through the levels.
I gotcha.
That's fine. Single player is fine. But it's meant for multiplayer. But I don't know how I'm ever gonna play that multiplayer, because when you have grown men as friends, good luck with getting everyone to getting around a computer.
Yeah. I miss LANs.
I do too. I played that, and what else did I play? Poking around a little bit in Shadow Warrior. Not much to say there. It's still Shadow Warrior. Still awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
I need to start on The Last of Us for Game of the Year. That's something I need to finish. I need to begin for starters. I'm very excited to play that.
Yeah, man, I wish I had the money to throw down on that game. Like, I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, anything.
Even people that say they don't want zombie games say, oh, this game you need to play. I got it on Craigslist, so $30 instead of 50.
Yeah. Does it, Last of Us doesn't have any DLC, does it?
I think they recently got a piece of DLC. I could be wrong. But
sad. Never mind. There's one thing bad about it.
Well, it's not like, I think it could be like more story stuff.
Okay.
So I don't think it's anything on the disc. So, I don't. It's all secondhand to me.
Sure.
And Naughty Dog is fantastic. So.
Yeah, Naughty Dog's pretty good about things.
But yeah, other than that, I've just been pondering Game of the Year stuff and thinking about all the games I should play and kind of just stressing out over that. But yeah, other than that, it's been a pretty slow week for me.
It's understandable, man.
Anything happen in news this week?
I passed my classes. That's a plus.
Yeah. Hey.
And
other news, Gabe has a hiccup still. Well, that's good.
News. Gabe has hiccups.
Yeah, right. That's what all those earthquakes are about. Every time I hiccup, sends tremors throughout the earth. Yeah, I had a friend of mine. She finally got her GED, so she passed that. So.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I keep trying to get her on the podcast, but doesn't really use PCs very often. So maybe someday. All you have to do is tell people there's a girl on this podcast, and all the nerds will be like, "Ah!" and I'll get a bunch of views. So
here's hoping.
Yeah, right.
Unless she instantly magically becomes some dude.
Oh no!
There's no girls on the internet.
Yeah, right. Girls playing video games. Push off. I shirked that notion. But don't tell that to the people that make BioShock, because it's like half the team half the creative team is like women on that game, so.
That's why it looks pretty good.
Oh man, BioShock Infinite is another game I need to play.
Yeah, you and me both.
I don't know if I'll get around to that, but we will see.
I get through this Assassin's Creed stuff first.
Oh, yeah.
Work your way there.
I don't think I'm going to play 4 because I need a new processor, and yeah.
Processor? I thought it was video card.
I think my video card's fine. Looking at the stats, I think my processor's the problem.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Means you need, I don't know, if it was me, whenever I need to get a new processor, I usually just upgrade my processor and motherboard, because half laziness, half, I just want.
Well, I just upgraded, and all the games said, no, you didn't, and decided to move faster than my hardware. So I think the video card's fine, but yeah, well, I'll have to poke around some more in that and see how it shakes out.
Yeah. I can tell you the video card that I put in and the 16 gigs of RAM that I put in.
Yeah, I got 16
wonders.
gigs too.
I'm so bad. So for the past, I don't know, good year, maybe year and a half, maybe a little more. Yeah, I think about 2 years ago, I ordered 16 gigs of RAM to replace the 4 gigs that I had.
Mm-hmm.
And, 4 gigs of RAM was nice, like, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But, nowadays, you need, quite a bit more RAM.
4 gigs bare minimum.
Exactly. So I ordered the 16 gigs of RAM, and initially I put it in. It worked for about a day, and then randomly crapped out. And so I contacted Newegg, who I bought it from, and I was like, "Hey, this is what happened with my RAM. You should fix this." And they're like, "Okay, send it back." I'm like, "All right." So I send it back, and then I get a new set of RAM to replace the old pair, and I just let it sit up until yesterday.
Then you finally put that RAM in, and Windows was like, "Woo!"
Windows went flying.
Yeah.
It was a good moment in time.
Once you get that RAM in there, you realize how much you need it.
Yeah, needless to say, yesterday was early Christmas.
Yeah, it must have been exciting.
That was pretty good.
So other than that, I watched some trailers this week. For starters, I watched more like a graphical demo for The Division, the Tom Clancy game.
Oh.
Tom Clancy has been a company that, Ubisoft has been a company that's caused me to scratch my head over what the hell are they doing with the Tom Clancy name lately.
Right, because he died not too long ago.
He did, and they haven't had any games that were worth your time with the Tom Clancy name for about 5 years. The last good Tom Clancy game I could personally think of was Splinter Cell Conviction.
Gotcha.
And then the new one, Blacklist, came out, and everyone says it's pretty good. But yeah, this game, The Division, could be the next big thing for the Tom Clancy brand. In this trailer, they highlight the particle effects and the lighting, and when bullets go through windows, it doesn't blow the whole window apart, but it puts these little holes in the glass, just like a real bullet would.
Nice. So it isn't over-dramatizing the effects, it's playing them naturally.
Yes, everything seems very dynamic. It looks incredible. I don't know if the video I'm looking at is console or PC, but we will know when it comes out.
My biggest concern about a MMO that's supposed to be playing realism is you go off and you kill a dude, and then he respawns. And it just seems really bad. Like, it just seems in bad taste to hold a realistic game in a setting that cannot be realistic.
Yeah.
Something like The Division, like, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it be played out something like Skyrim, but with multiple players. But I don't know.
It makes it hard to believe.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've heard about these open world MMO shooters, and everyone's like, yeah, and then they come out and it's like, it's not what you said it was going to be. Oh.
Right.
It ends up being really disappointing, so I don't know if everything's going to be instanced in this game. I mean, we'll know when it happens, but I think either way, hopefully the shooting should be fine enough to where the game is going to be a good game regardless. But we really want to believe in the open world shooter.
Yeah, open world shooter seems really good. Like, I never actually was able to play it, but something like Mag.
Yeah.
Given it wasn't exactly open world because they were individual games, but the games lasted so long. that it really had kind of a similar feeling. But yeah, something like Mag or PlanetSide 2, where it's just you go out and you're one individual fighting the rest.
Yeah, Mag seemed very ambitious, and I never really played it because when that game came out, I didn't have a PC. I'm sorry, PS3. Was there ever a Mag 2?
I think they're designing it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I could be wrong here. I know there was talk about a Mag 2 at some point in time. I don't know whether it is out or whether it just flopped or if it's still in designing. I don't know.
I can't believe a Mag 2 could ever be successful unless they really hit it out of the park. Not to sound negative, but it seems like the time for that game has kind of passed. Unless they branded it something else.
I mean, the people that played it seemed to really like it, so I don't know.
Well, I'm sure Mag was fine, but I feel like Mag is a fairly old game, and I feel like if you were to create Mag 2, I just have a hard time believing people didn't get their fill with Mag 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And with the Division, man, that'd be steep competition. But who knows? Open world shooters, we're entering a new generation, so hopefully they are as awesome as I want them to be. These damn hiccups are killing me.
Yep.
So other than that trailer, I also saw No Man's Sky, the trailer for that game.
That looks really good.
Yes.
It looks really, really good.
It's like those Star Trek movies into a game.
Not to say that, like, graphically it's the best out there, but
the art style really compensates for it.
Yeah, the art style, and also just, like, the theoretical possibilities that that game presents just really, really makes my mind wander, and it's awesome. So I want to see that.
Yeah, I really want to see if that game can be what they want it to be. It kind of brings us back to the Division, like just two games that are really ambitious. Everyone goes, "We want to believe in you. Don't let us down."
Yep.
You see stuff like people a guy getting to the ship and then flying straight up into the sky to a star without loading or anything. That's like the Mass Effect that you really wanted.
Oh, man.
Not to say Mass Effect wasn't anything short of amazing. I want to believe in this game, and I love the crazy bright art style and the red grass and the ocean, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I want to play in those oceans, play in those green, red, blue, orange, purple grasses.
Mm-hmm. And everything's supposed to be randomly generated, like the environments and everything. So I guess it's like a team of just a handful of guys, and they've only been working on it for like 9 months or something like that. So
that doesn't sound promising.
Well, the point is that a lot of the work that's been done wasn't done by them. It was just the game generating itself. From what I've heard. So if they can do this, then it could be a big deal with R&D and development and all that.
Pretty good. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, this is a game that I have no risk in because if it's bad, it's bad. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, I mean, it's been a slow week. Everyone's just kind of poking around with their Xbox One and doing the voice commands and having fun with that and saying goodbye to their fucking cable box, which is good for them because cable boxes are horrible. I play with my parents' cable box every now and again, and I'm just like fuming with anger every time I try. They're not intuitive, but hooking it up to your Xbox seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
Microsoft definitely knows how to market towards the masses.
Sorta.
Well, the masses that may not be... They know that people use these boxes for things other than games, and Sony...
Sure, they understood there was a need and they could use it for said need, but Sony won that marketing. Microsoft clearly didn't.
Well, right now, I think they're just selling out because there's so many people online. We're really going to know who's the victor of this, and 6 months from now, you know what I mean, when there's...
Sure.
Sony is focusing mostly on games, and Microsoft is focusing on everything, so hopefully they're not spreading too thin.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I just don't... I don't know what else to add to this podcast.
Yeah, this week's kind of dead.
Yeah.
But it happens. Not every week can be a good week.
Well, the Game of the Year podcast, man, that's going to be a big week for me.
Yes. That's going to have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that's a podcast.
Yep, I guess so.
Thanks for joining me, Chubbers, and I hope you all send me emails at videogabe0083@gmail.com. Still need those emails. I could tack on some time on the end of the show if we had some. So, yeah, other than that, we will see you all next time.
Peace.